Greetings, my wonderful BUSN 1360 Software Apps for Business class in this 2020 fall semester. If you will give me a bit of your time, I will help you be successful in MyITLab. This is a powerful, powerful tool that you have at your fingertips. There's a lot of items in it, and it's going to take me a minute to show them to you, but if you'll give me some of that time, I'm going to help you to be successful, okay? The first thing I need you to do is to get a piece of paper, and specifically the paper that has your registration information. This changes from semester to semester. It also changes from class section to class section. So you would have received via email and in PAWS your instructor course information, including your instructor's course code and the registration information. So if you'll pull that out or write that information down and have it handy, that's going to be a big help. I'm going to open up my Chrome browser. If you're not familiar with Chrome, you can Google Chrome. It's a free browser that you can download. Tends to work well for us. And up here towards the top, whatever web page you're on, click all the way up at the top and type myitlab.com. myitlab.com. Press enter. The first time you're at this page, you are going to have to register. After that, you'll come back to this page. You'll just sign in. You're going to register as a student. Now you'll need an email address. Use whatever email address you would like, but caution, use your first name and last name as it appears on the official class roster. This will ensure that you don't get knocked out of MyITLab. Very important. Have your instructor's course ID handy, and that's on that handout. Have the access code that you purchased when you enrolled in the class through that DEI program. That's on that handout also. Have that ready. Click on OK, register now. Okay, so the first thing I'm prompted to do is to type in my instructor's course code. I've done this a few times as I've been demonstrating and preparing for this video, so I'm going to click on continue. Now, you might already have a Pearson username and password from a class like that where you use MyITLab or MyFinance You can certainly use that. The password might be from the semester when you use those products. So if your current password doesn't work, try an old one or two. If all else fails, create a brand new account. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, you again use whatever email you would like. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say fall 2020, and I'm kind of making one up, but you're going to use a real one. That way you can get notifications as needed. All right. And it uses that as your username. With the password, the tricky thing here is to make sure you meet all their requirements. And notice how it was checking them off as I went. Now, first name, what is registered with the college? If your name at the college is, oh goodness, I have 3 T's, is Betty Baker, then if you got married and your last name is Smith, you're still Betty Baker until you change it at the college. If your first name is Earl but you go by Bob, then your first name is Earl, because that's what it looks like on the official class roster. And I don't want you to have any trouble getting kicked out, okay? Security question. Well, you pick one, and I'm just going to pick one here as I create. This is kind of a demonstration account for me. I'm going to agree to the terms and service. Make sure you read this, and if this applies to you, then check the box. If not, we'll continue on. And I'm not going to get promotional emails. I'm just going to click on create account. Now 2 common mistakes that students make on this page. Remember, you purchased your access when you enrolled in the course. So the first common mistake, do not click on the $99, $99.99, because you've already purchased it. A second common mistake is enrolling with the 14-day free trial. You don't need to do that either because you've already paid for your access. So simply click on the access code. Now, do you have that handout, that digital handout handy? Because if so, you are in luck. Remember, this code changes with every class and with every semester. And that's one of the reasons I also need your name entered in correctly because you get kicked out if it doesn't line up, right? Well, I have my handout handy and I'm going to click and drag over that code. I'm going to right click and copy, and I'm going to come back to this screen. I'm going to click in this first box and I'm going to right click and paste. Boop! It filled it all in. Finish. Wasn't that nifty? Now, the thing that you're going to learn with MyITLab is to be patient. My internet is not the fastest and it takes a while. So we're going to be a little patient and let this set up. We're a very patient people. Almost there, and there it is. Now, you can print this page for your records. It just recaps the information. I'm ready to continue on. So let's see. Where is my... Goodness. Oh, my registration is being processed. Okay, I was fairly certain I had a next button there, but that's okay because I've got my username and password, right? This is my my email address that I'm going to use. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go ahead and go back in. I'm going to open a brand new browser page, starting from scratch. Remember step one, I go to the top, myitlab.com, press enter. This time, I simply need to sign in. I have a feeling I probably did the demo a few too many times, which is why I might be having the problem. My username, what was my username? That's the key, is to remember it, right? All right, my username and my password, maybe you have that written down someplace, and then sign in. Okay. The first time only, I'm going to have to go through and accept their user agreement, tell it the country I'm in, click I agree, and continue. Yay! Here we are. We're at our course. So I'm going to click the name of the course to open it. And I might have to be a little patient again and let it set up. Now, I'm going to tell you another, I'm going to say mistake, but it's really not a mistake, a tip for success that I want you to see. There are many ways to view information in MyLab IT or MyITLab, and a lot of times people do go to assignment calendar, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you will miss some of the information that is not technically assigned, but that you need. Like your book. I don't assign the book to you, but it's a resource that you're going to find under course materials. I like course materials because it's all inclusive. So click on course materials. If you look in the lower corner, you can always see it's loading, and that will help you know when it's finished. So here I am. Now, look at these folders. Everything is so nicely organized. I'm going to try to make that bigger. Can you see that? Now, in this folder, there is information. I'm going to click on. See, I'm currently under my course, and I'm under course materials. So I'm going to click on the folder. And what I'm seeing is that there is an optional supplemental print book offer. This will tell you about that. It will also give me a link to the entire textbook for our course. But our textbook is actually quite huge, and we focus on very specific software applications like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So you can explore those, but my point is to say here's some supplemental information. It is necessary that you have this digital book, which is available to you through MyITLab. So if you're saying, oh good, I can get the printed book, you certainly can as an extra, but it does not replace the digital text. You must have the digital MyITLab access. To go back, I could click on Course Materials, or I can click on My Course. Either is fine. I want to start by looking at our first chapter, Word, Chapter 1, ebook with required assignments. Let's click on that folder. Now, when you click on these folders, it is possible that they're going to launch some kind of pop-up. If that happens, you're going to see a red something across the top. There might be a red something here, there might be a red something here, and that's going to indicate to you that it is blocking a pop-up. You will have to click on that red whatever, symbol, and when you click on that symbol, it will ask you if you want to enable, and you do. And if you have the option to always enable, that is what you need to do. Always enable. Okay, but I am in my Word, my Word Chapter 1 folder. I went from Course Materials to My Course, and then I opened that Word Chapter 1 folder. And look at the stuff I have in here. I have a link to my textbook. I have a link to audio PowerPoints. And then I have some assignments, and I can see these are assignments and they have due dates on them. So I know that I need to do that. Well, let's just be bold, because I think that students will say, let's just see if we can knock this out, right? Okay, I'm in this tab, Course Materials, MyITLab, and I'm going to attempt this quiz. Now, it opened another tab. Did you see that? Open this other tab. I might get an error pop-up blocked. I might have to enable the pop-up. And I have 10 questions to answer. Well, let's see. Which of the following is a reason to use the accessibility checker? What? Word has an accessibility checker? I didn't know that. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, maybe I need to do some reading before I answer this quiz questions. And I think that's what I'm going to recommend to you. But as long as we're here, let me show you just a little bit. I'm going to give you this first question, because this first question says, when we think about accessibility checker, which of the following is a reason to use it? Well, would it be to ensure compatibility with earlier Word versions? When I think accessibility, maybe not compatibility, but not accessibility. To provide access to appropriate document properties? Well, document properties, accessibility, I don't think so. To comply with federal legislation related to disabilities. Disabilities, accessibilities. I'm starting to see a connection. And the last one, to ensure that any headers and footers are visible. That doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure it's C. So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to submit it and immediately find out if that's correct. Yay, I got it right. That's what I want to happen, because I want you to learn by going through this. And I feel like that you learn when you get this immediate feedback that tells you, is this right? Is this wrong? I don't want to just keep picking the wrong answer because I just can't figure it out. I want to actually learn from it. So I'm going to go to the next question. Now, I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to pick the first one and I'm going to click on submit. I can't believe that. I'm sorry, that's funny. That happens sometimes. I got it right. I can't believe it. Let's go do the next one. I'm going to click A again and then hit submit. What? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it wrong. C. Okay. No. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all, I'm going to have to read it so I get it wrong. Suppose you find that a heading within a report is displayed at the end of a page, with remaining text in that section placed on the next page. To keep the heading with the text, you would position the insertion points before the heading, and then that's not going to keep it, so that is the wrong answer. Thank you. That is too funny, y'all. I've never gotten that many just haphazardly correct in a row. That was actually kind of funny. Okay, I answered this question incorrectly. I got this one wrong. It gives me a red X. I'm still just laughing. That is hysterical. And I learn that this is the correct answer. So I got it wrong, but as I go through this again, I want to learn from this and I want to understand what the correct answer is. So I go through all the questions, and then I'm not even going to answer if I can get away with that. And when I get to the very end, then I'm going to be able to finish. And this is where I'm going to be able to get it graded. So I'm going to click on finish. And I'm going to get a nice report that I got a 50%, so I didn't do so well, so I need to do it again, because that's the point. I want you to improve your grade. The syllabus has details, how often can you take it, and that type of thing, but I get a nice report so that I can study and I can learn. Okay, and you can see if I didn't answer, then it's not going to tell me the correct answer. If I answered and I got it wrong, it's going to try to help me get the right answer during the quizzing process, but not on this summary page. Okay, but go through, take it again. I don't want you to be satisfied with the 50%. I want you to go out there and improve your score. So I'm going to return to the course. It closed my tab that I had open, that second tab, and it took me back. Well, remember, this is where the book is. So I'm going to open the book because I want you to see that. Now, this is definitely a pop-up. See the window that popped up? Oops, and it went behind it. So sometimes you might have to go down to your taskbar and bring that window to the front. And I'm going to make it full screen. I can't stand working in this small like this. You got to make that full. See how I'm clicking right there? Now, it's going to try to give me a little overview of the book, and I encourage you to read these things. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to kind of quickly push through these, but please take your time and read this. And it's giving me more hints here. I've got a notebook, so there's all kinds of things I can explore. So with my browser window open and this browser window popped up, on the left hand side I see that I have some icons, different views, different things that I can explore. Right here, if you can see where I'm pointing here under contents, that's exactly what it is. It's the contents, the table of contents for the book, and I can scroll through. Now, this is a big book, and we do not cover every single chapter. That's why you're using your course schedule. That is very, very important. Use that course schedule. That'll keep you from missing out assignments that may not be in Connect. Could be assignments that are in pause, could be assignments like the SLO test, so you want to use your class schedule. And this is just the cover page of our book. Now, I recall that we were looking at Word Chapter 1, and I see it right here. That's not to say some of this other information isn't great, but you need to focus on getting the work done. So let's go to Introduction to Word, Organizing a Document. I'm going to click on that. When I did, it changed the book over here on the side, and it's trying to help me explore again. I'm going to click on Next, Next, Explore My Text. Again, I encourage you to go through and look at these, but the first time you kind of have to just get through it. Okay, this is the actual page of my textbook, and over on the side I see that I can navigate to very specific parts of my textbook. On this window on the right, it's telling me, and these are also clickable items. I can go to exercise 1 and all this type of stuff, and I can go through. And what this is going to give me the opportunity to do is to read and understand. Sometimes when you are trying to do and to read, it becomes a little bit too much. To answer those quiz questions and to really learn about Word, this is, let me show you how easy this reading is. Introduction to Word, organizing a document. I'm going to click on that. I'm still kind of in this front matter. Let me get Introduction to Word Processing. Let me click on that. Now, here we go. And I can start to read through this book. I am going to close this content here. When I close it, here's the X. See that? I can get it back anytime. I just click on Contents. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to read. And look, it's double spaced. You're going to be able to read through this quickly. There's pictures that help you to see what they're talking about. If you want to stop and try it on your computer, you can. On the right and on the left, you will be able to move through the pages. And so it's showing me how to open a blank document in Word, and it's giving me those tips so that I can do that. There's hands-on exercise, it says, to create a document. And I'm going to show you more about where you actually do this hands-on work. So bear with me. But this is everything you need to know for the quizzes and to help you get orientated. When they talk about display the non-printing characters, what are they talking about? How do I do that? And this picture is actually showing me. But I've also got the reading. To show non-printing characters, I click the Show Hide button. Well, what is that? That's what they're showing me down here in the picture. So you'll have to take a moment, and you might have to zoom in a little bit and see. But, I mean, this is your book, and it's, as some of the tips we're telling you in advance, it's searchable to help you find exactly the steps that you need to know. And look here. It tells me how to accomplish the task, to insert text from another file. And here are the steps. And it's showing me in the picture. Now, why do you care? Because you're going to have the responsibility of doing this in a moment. Okay, in a moment. One step at a time. This is our book. Okay, so I encourage you, go through this. I think you'll like it. It's straightforward. Don't spend too much time here, but spend time here. Okay, so you're going to look at this. Now, remember that this was a pop-up window. I just grabbed it and pulled it, which put it in a smaller size. I can keep this open if I like. Oops, goodness, everything is shifting around here. That might be handy to keep that book open while I take the quiz. Remember, the quiz was back here under, in this original tab, under course materials. So maybe I want to come in here and open my book and then start the quiz. That way I can look up answers. Okay? I mean, this is a learning process, right? These homework assignments, that's what they're about. It gets tougher, okay? It gets tougher, but this is a learning assignment. You're going to do okay. If I didn't mean to scare you by saying it's getting tougher. Your knowledge is going to increase. Your knowledge is going to increase. So hang with me. All right. So, okay. So I have that book open. I forgot what I was telling you here. And I could keep that open. I'm going to close it because I just simply just don't need it right this minute anymore. Now, you remember course materials, and we went into the chapter 1, the Word chapter 1 folder. And we attempted the quiz. I can see at a glance that I got a 50%, so I'm going to want to take that quiz again, and I encourage you to do that. But let's pretend that I am ready to move on to the simulator. If I'm ready to move on to the simulator, I'm going to click the simulator. Once again, I'm going to be on the lookout because it's going to pop up. And if I keep thinking that nothing is happening, then I need to look for the red along that top bar. Now, you might be saying to yourself right now, that's a beautiful desktop background that she has, and she has no icons on her desk. And that would not be true, because this is not my desktop. This is a simulator. Anything I do in this simulator window is only done in the simulator. If it tells me to open a file, I don't have to have that file because it's it's pretend it's in the simulator. It's like a game, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look down at the bottom, and it tells me to start Microsoft Word 2019 and begin a blank document. Now hopefully as I read through my textbook I saw that, and so I kind of feel confident I know how to do it. There are many ways to do it. You might click in the Ask Me Anything box and just type it. It'll work. You might click on the Windows button and see all these applications that are not on your computer, they're not on my computer, they're in the simulator. And I can go down to Word and I could pick that. Lots of ways to do this, lots of ways. Now, I haven't finished yet. The instruction says start Microsoft Word 2019 and begin a blank document. And what I learned in my textbook is that double-click blank document. Voila! Not done yet. As I look at this, I just moved to a different part of the instruction. I am on task number 1, and each task has multiple steps, and there are 16 tasks. If this bar is not on the bottom for you but is on the right hand side, that's fine. It just simply means your screen is not wide enough for it to display everything. So depending on the resolution of your computer screen, and don't worry too much about that, there's nothing you can do about it. It's either going to display on the right, which is fine, or across the bottom. Okay, now here comes this next task. Click the Insert tab. Well, so far so good. And insert text from this file. This is in italics because it's a file located in the Documents folder. Well, I don't have this file. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do. You're going to love this. This is the best part. This is the best part. Over here, see where it says Learning Aids? Click on that. Now, I encourage you to look at read instructions and to watch a video, but I'm just going to tell you from years of experience that you're going to go straight to practice, because practice is actually a guided practice. So guide me. I'm clicking on practice.
Click the Insert tab.
It tells me click the Insert tab, and it has these little red marching ants going around, and as soon as I click it,
in the text group, click the Object button arrow, and then click Text from File.
Isn't this the greatest thing ever? I love it. I love it. So you're going to click on this. Now, here's my cautionary note. If you are not paying attention, you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught out because you're going to have to do this in a minute. And you might have to do it again when you do an assignment all by yourself. So you're going to say, okay, now what did I do? What did I do? Okay, I clicked on Insert. Okay, I clicked on this. I said Text from File. So you want to kind of repeat those steps in your mind. This, and then this, and then this. That's what I did. Text from File.
In the Insert File dialog box, double-click the W01H1 Camps file.
And see how this is all in the simulator? Simulators are great. So I'm going to double-click. Woohoo! It inserted it, and it tells me I'm done. And guess what it does now? It says, you're still on that task. Now you do it. Okay. Let me see if I'm paying attention here. Insert. Text from file, right? Did you get all of it? Were you with me? All right. Woohoo! Now it takes me to the next step. Save the document. Well, do you know how to save? If not, this is where the book will help you. And if not, you would go to the learning aids. You are learning, and I understand that. Okay, oops, save as, okay. And it wants me to call it W01H1. That's for Word. 01 is chapter 1, H1, I don't know, step 1, whatever, refuge. So you want to type that very exact, click on save. And it's moved me to the last step, close the document but leave Word open. Now if you're not familiar with this, this is the document within the simulator. and way back here is Word, is the whole theoretical, Microsoft Word. So I closed just the document. Oh, it said incorrect. Oh goodness, I'm getting too big for my britches there? Okay. How about that? There we did. Now, notice it gave me an attempt and I've got it wrong, and it'll give me how many attempts? It'll give me 10 to get that right. Now, I am now on to task number 2, and I've got work to do. Remember those non-printing characters? It's good that we read about that because I know exactly what to do. If I did not know what to do, I would go to learning aids, and most students go straight to this practice. Okay, so you can do that. If you watch the video, it will tell you how to do the whole thing, the whole exercise. So, different things work well for different people, so please take advantage of that. Now, when you are done, you should submit. You can save, but I think you got a clock running, so you might want to be, no, I don't see it. Did I not put a clock on this? Okay, so you're okay. So anyway, so you want to submit so that you get your grade. Obviously, I have a lot more work to do, but I'm just going to go ahead and submit it so that we can see. And and I encourage you, I really do encourage you, look at some of the other tools that you have. The assignment includes incomplete items. That's terrible on my part, but I'm going to click OK. But I really should finish the whole thing. Oops, what happened? There we are. I had minimized my browser. It was down in my toolbar, so I just popped it back open. Oh, ooh, my scores are not good today. I got a 50% on the quiz. I did guess a lot of them correctly. I want credit for that. I've only done 6.3% of the simulator, so I should not have submitted it. I should have saved it and come back in to work on it some more, but I'll need to start that over and make sure I improve my grade before the due date. And now the biggie, the grader. This is a grader project. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is a grader. So, what is a grader? And I realize this is a lot, but again, give me a little time here. I'm going to help you be successful. A grader is not a simulator. See, the simulator is great because you don't have to have anything set up on your computer. But you will need Microsoft Word on your computer. And so I want you to hang with me for one really quick second. I'm going to open another browser tab, and I'm going to go to the portal, to the website that was in your syllabus, portal.microsoftonline.com. Now, there are other websites that will take you to the same place. I go to this website a lot, so it remembers me. But when you enter your username and password, make sure you enter the full thing. And this is where you need to know what your email address is. It's not southwest.com. It's not. It's not southwest.edu. It's your username at southwest.tn.edu. So we have 2 dots. Southwest.tn.edu. Southwest.tn.edu. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Give me a minute. I'm going to put my password. Now, when I get to this page, if you do not have Microsoft Word, and specifically Microsoft Word 2019 on your computer, then look away from these icons. Don't use these. That's not what we're talking about right now. You can install the software on your computer. You can install it. So you would click this install. It will install the proper version for your computer, whether it's Apple, whether it's a Mac or a PC. It will install the correct version. And you're going to do what they showed you in the video. You're going to click on your Windows button and go to Word, or else you're going to type in the search box Word, and it will open Word. If you ignore me and you just click straight on this Word icon, yes, something will open. What this is it's a lightweight browser-based version of Word. It does not have all the same features. It will not look exactly the same. Now, if you have to make adjustments, I will leave that to you. But what we are teaching is Microsoft Office 2019, and so what we kind of need you to do is to install the software on your computer. Okay, so it's taken too long. I was just showing you this. There it is. Okay, but again, it's not going to look. It's going to look different. It's going to look different. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to come back to our book. But that was a brief detour of a website that's in the syllabus that shows you where you can get Microsoft Office, and Microsoft Office includes Word, it includes Excel, and PowerPoint. You will need those software to work on the graders. So here's the grader. I'm going to click on it. It's going to pop up, so I'm looking for any red that is stopping me from entering this assignment. And it says I have 3 steps. Now truthfully, you kind of have a lot more steps, but let's start, or I say 4 steps, but let's go through the steps. You're going to start by downloading the materials that you need. I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to work on the assignments on your computer. You're going to actually close out of all of this, and you're going to do the work on your computer. When you are done, you are going to upload the completed assignment. Finally, you're going to click submit. You're going to upload it, and then you're going to submit it for grading, and it automatically grades your typed work on your computer, and it's going to tell you very fast what your grade is. Now I'm going to tell you an extra trick, an extra bonus, because you've been watching so faithfully as we've gone through these steps. I said you're going to finish all your work and then you're going to submit it for grading. Well, if there's 20 steps in the assignment, I don't necessarily want to get to step 20 only to find out that I did step 10 wrong. So why not submit and get a grade after 10 steps? Because then I can identify my errors and fix them. If I do that, I do not have to start over every time. I simply go back to my original file, fix the errors, and submit it again. So you're not starting over every time. You're just learning. Remember, that's what I really want for you in this class. Okay, if that doesn't make sense, let's walk through it together so that you'll see. I'm going to click on the Download Materials button. For this particular assignment, here are the items that I need. As I look at these files, let me show you here. This one includes the word instructions, and that is what I want because I like to have the instructions in a Word document that I can print and read, right? That's going to be very important. I see that I have some kind of file here, and I'm probably going to have to work inside that file. Now this one, you may not know this. I'm going to teach you something right now. See how it ends with .jpg? That just fills me in or clues me in that this is an image, and so I'm probably going to end up inserting a picture, this image, into my document. And then this one says title, and so I don't know, it's another Word document, and I'm going to learn how to, what I need to do with that. All right, now let me give you a caution. Notice that next to each file there is a download button, and this will download those files one by one, and that's what I want you to do. You can, yes, download all files, but it will not download them one by one. It will compress all of these and combine them into one zip file. And I caution you against this because what happens is students do not unzip the zip file. You don't unpack these individual documents and expand them. And if all this sounds like too much, yep, don't do it. Okay, because when you're trying to work in that zipped file, you're going to run into trouble. So for now, let's avoid download all files. Let's click this download button. Now, do you see what it did? It downloaded the file. I had downloaded it before, so it is showing something there. But see how it downloaded that? And I'm going to click on this next one. And I'm in Chrome. I'm in the Chrome browser, and that's what I suggested to you in the instructions. And one more. And that was pretty quick, right? Now, yes, I can just click on this file and open it. But I'm concerned as you do this because where is this file? Where is it? you're going to need to get it later on. And if you are not organized, you're going to keep submitting the wrong file. That happens often. I've done it myself. It's easy to get confused. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to make a folder. Make a folder someplace on your computer, or store your files on a flash drive, a little external flash drive, so that you always know this is the document that I'm working on. When I click in Chrome on this little arrow, see how it says Show in Folder? And if I open that, what I'll see is that it's saved these files in my Downloads folder. So I need to remember that, but I would suggest that you just copy these and put them on a flash drive, put them in a separate folder, someplace where you keep your coursework so that create a new folder. See that new folder? Create that so that you organize your work. I might do something like new folder, and I'm going to call this Word 1 because this is Word Chapter 1. And I'm going to tell you a trick here. I'm going to click the first one time. That selects. Click one time, that selects. I'm going to hold my Shift key down, Shift, and click the last file. We downloaded 4 files. Click the first one, Shift, click the last one. See how they're all selected? With my mouse on top of these, I am going to press and drag them to my folder. If that's too fancy for you, you can cut and you can open the folder and then paste inside the folder. Okay? All right. If you need me to do a separate video on how to create a folder, I'll be glad to do that. Just, email me and let me know. All right, now let's look at these things. Remember, I had one file that was called instructions, and I'm going to open that. Here we are in Word. Bear with me. I know this is a long video, but I think it's going to help you to be successful. Across the top, you're going to always need to do this: enable editing. Now here are my instructions, and it tells me how many points I get for successfully completing those instructions down to 100%. Look in the syllabus to see how many points the assignment actually is, but you want 100% of your points, right? So it tells me that I need to start Word, that I need to download that water file. Remember that water file? And let's see, Grader has automatically added my last name to it. Now the reason it does that is because, folks, don't share files. Don't copy and paste between files. This is a very smart system, and it will detect it and it will flag you as cheating. So don't do that, okay? It's your file and it's going to have your name on it there. Change the orientation to portrait. Display non-printing characters. Delete the first 2 lines. Well, that's a lot. That's why I like to have this printed. But what I need to do is I need to open the document that I saved. So here I am in my Word 1 file, and it wants me to open water. Now yours will probably have your name appended to it. What's the first thing I told you need to do? Enable editing. Now I'm helping you get some of your homework done here, right? So here it is. Now, what did my instructions say? See, my memory is really bad, so I have to go back and look. Change the orientation to portrait. Well, if I don't know how to do that, I need to go to my book and I need to look that. Or perhaps during the simulator, I also learned how to do this. But I see that this is wide. It's not a long document. It's landscape right now. So what I know, let me make this where you can see it. What I know is that I can change the layout to portrait. That was the first thing that it asked me to do. Now what else did it ask me to do? It asked me to display non-printing characters and delete the first 2 lines, water for life and changing lives daily. So I need to display non-printing characters. I need to, and you're going to learn how to do it. If you don't know how to do what I'm doing, that's why you have your book and the simulator. And see how I deleted those? Now, I'm going to save my work. I know I'm not done. And since I've only completed really one step, I'm not sure this is going to be will help me much. But let me just show you anyway. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to close it. And I've still got my instructions there. But let me go back to the grader. We downloaded our files, and we've started our instructions. Work assignment on your computer. Okay, when it says preview steps, these are those exact same instructions. If you want to work on them this way, that's fine. I prefer to download the instructions. I like to print them and I like to read them. But you have all the instructions right there. Now, this is how I submit my work to find out my grade. Choose a file. Now here's the problem. Where was that file? If you don't know, this is where it's going to start to cause problems. I remember I had it in my downloads folder, and here's that Word 1 folder. And the file that I need to submit was this water folder. So I'm going to select it and open. Now I've only completed one step. Okay, I clicked open and I feel like I should submit for grading. Don't make that mistake like I do. Make sure you click upload first. Alright, it uploaded, it's successful, excellent. Submit for grading. Make sure you get that green check mark, then submit for grading. Alright, it's been submitted. Oop, I clicked on close. What's happening? I think it's mad at me. It did not like that. Okay, well, this is the reason we do demonstrations, right? Okay, I don't know why. It should let me click and close assignments, but I'm going to close that tab. And remember, this is where we went into the grader. This is your refresh button. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to make it display this page to me again. Remember, I came into MyITLab. I clicked on course material, enter our course, clicked on course materials, and remember we went into Word Chapter 1. And look at that. I have already gotten feedback on that work that I did. I mean, I have done a quiz. I have worked in a simulator and hopefully gotten the best scores possible. And then I even completed some work on my own, and I walked through the assignment instructions. How many instructions are there? 12. Okay, so you need to go through all 12. And again, use your book to go through that. I'm going to close that. Now, I'm definitely not happy with the 16.7%. So I'm going to go back to my grader. And I closed my instructions and I shouldn't have done that. Now, here's what I do not want you to do. Don't download those materials again. You've already downloaded them. You can refer to your instructions. Remember, I have them here, and I've completed step 2, and I want to change the margin. I want to go on to step 3. Change margins to moderate, insert a page break at the beginning of the margins to moderate. I am really having trouble here. Change margins to moderate and insert a page break at the beginning of the document. That's what I need to do. So I'm going to come back over and open that document again. Now, it's very important that you remember where you saved it, right? So you would look in your book, or you have maybe already learned this from the reading and from the simulator. And see how these have headings. This is moderate. And this is on my computer. This is not in a simulator. I am really doing this in Word 2019, and I'm going to click on that. And it adjusted my margins. And then let's see, what else did it tell me to do? It told me to insert a page break at the beginning of the document. So let me go. I'm at my insertion point is at the beginning of the document. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to go, oops, I'm sorry, layout, breaks, and I'm going to insert a page break. And see, there's the page break, and it put all that onto another page. And I'm going to save that document. I'm going to close, always close the document. Don't leave it open. Close that document. In fact, I should close out of Word completely. I'm going to close Word completely because I don't want to take any chance that I still have that document open. I'm going to choose the file. You have to know where it's saved. If you see it with a little kind of squiggly, a little tilde in front of it, that's not your file. So you have to know the file that you're looking for and open. Don't forget, like I do, upload. I got to get my green check mark. I got that. And I'm going to submit for grading again. Kudos! Your file's been submitted. Y'all, why isn't that clicking? I don't know. But what did we learn? We learned that we can just close this tab. And it still says 16.7. I'm going to refresh. So you're learning a lot in this, but that's why I do these videos, is to walk you through it. We're in MyITLab. We're in course materials. We're in Word Chapter 1. And look, my score went up a little bit. Now, more than that, see the three, we've been clicking on the assignment name. See the three dots? I can view submissions. I promise I'm about to stop. Each time I submitted my work, there's an entry here. And this is a brand new version, so I might flounder a little. I clicked it. I clicked my first attempt. And what I can do is I can go through and look at that. Remember, I had only done through step 2, and I see I got full points for step 2. And so I can look, and if I got something wrong, it's highlighted in red, and I can click on the red arrow, and I can find out specifically what did I lose points for. Maybe I got one of my margins wrong, and it would show that, right? So I can go through, and my point being this, I can get feedback and I can try to improve. And you can do this at the end, you can do this after 1 step, you can do this after 10 steps, there were 12 steps, you know. So use that feedback. I'm going to go back, and on my second attempt I got a little bit better. I'm sorry, that's my phone you hear ringing. It's a spam calling. Y'all don't ever get that, do you? Now you like me, you get it. So look at that. It shows me, look, 12 out of 12 on step 3. That was great. I did not do step 4, but if I want to find out, maybe I only got 8 out of, oh, look at that. This is a good example. I don't know how, but somehow I got some points on step 5. If I want to find out what I messed up, I can find out. And apparently I got points. Okay, I don't know, but somehow I got some points for that. But if I missed something, you can start to see. So this is how you do a grader. It's really great at helping you to learn. If you ever just lose your file and you can't figure out, notice you can download the file that you submitted. If you're working at different locations, that might be helpful. But I think I've shown you, I told you this is a very good tool. There's so much learning that can occur. I'm going to be honest with you. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to really tell you something here. Yes, students do get frustrated because it can be a lot of work. How much work it is depends on how much you already know. I do think that there is something in here for everybody. I know every time I go to a new version, to a new book, I learn shortcuts. I learn something new, a new feature I haven't learned before. So I think there's something for everybody. If you are a beginner, you're going to have to commit some time to this. You are going to have to learn. Don't get discouraged. It does take practice, but I think as you go into each assignment, I'm going to open chapter 2. You'll see they're set up the same. You have the book, you have some audio PowerPoints, you have the multiple choice quiz, you have the simulator, great learning in the simulator, and then you have to do it on your own with the grader. But when you do that work on your own, you're going to get immediate feedback. It's faster than I could ever accomplish that grading. It's going to give you that immediate score. So this is your work in MyITLab. I hope it helps you get started. I'll keep reaching out to you. If there is something you don't understand, I can make a video to address a particular point. So I do want you to learn though, and so I do want you to use your book. I want you to use the simulators, use that practice which shows you exactly how to do it. And I think as you go through that, that being said, if you get stuck, yes, email me. Now, I'm going to try to help you through it so that you can figure it out and you can learn how to do it. But don't get discouraged, okay? It's just one day at a time. Again, the newer you are to this software application, you do need to plan your time because it takes time to learn. But that's what we want you to do, is learn, so that when you go out into the workforce and somebody says, can you create this document from a blank document? Can you insert text from another file? Can you add a graphic into it? You're going to be like, yeah, that was chapter 1, baby. I got no problem, right? So I want you to be able to do that. Thank you, folks. Let's see. Oh, goodness, almost an hour. I hope this was a very helpful hour, as good as a class meeting, okay? So thank you very much, and get working. You got a lot to do, and I appreciate you, folks. I appreciate all that you're doing. Thank you so much.